Welcome to this level 29 episode, first of two level 29 episodes of Voodu Warlock 2022. Since the last episode I did, this first episode is going to be the 4 epic orchard quests, and those are the quests that are required to flag for Mark of Death, which is the epic orchard raid, the epic abbot raid. And this raid has seen some popularity recently, basically since Feywild, because Feywild introduced the Soul Forge system where you could take select items from older raids and basically convert them into an augment. You don't get the whole functionality of the item as an augment. It's just like a key property of it. So, or the signature property of various older raid loot. So, for example, in Mark of Death, it's the Epic Litany of the Dead that is the prized possession out of there, because you can take the Epic Litany of the Dead, which has the signature ability to give +2 profane bonus to all ability scores. You can convert that into an augment that gives you +2 profane bonus to all ability scores. So if you do not have profane bonus to ability scores on your gear set, that is a great way to fit it in. Now, when you do the Epic Orchard quest, make sure you pick up the Epic quests from the Epic Quest Givers, and I'm standing at them. They're up top, up the hill, from the Heroic Quest Givers. Okay, if you pick up the quests from the Heroic Quest Givers, you'll be able to do the quests on Epic, but you will not get credit for the flagging. So it's very important that you remember. A lot of people have made that mistake. I think I have a time or two over the years, but make sure you pick up the Epic quests from the Epic Quest Givers, which are right here. And then the raid giver is Hammond Burr behind me there. The raid still does get pugged from time to time. It's a quick raid. It's a fast and furious kind of raid. It's not that hard. I do have a teaching raid video for every raid in the game. I will include a link to my teaching raid videos in this video description. The quests that you're going to see are just a grab off of the live stream, and I did it with a couple of other folks. Just a quick run through on Epic Elite, no big whoop. For gear, I'm almost fully endgame geared, or at least what used to be endgame gear for me. But moving forward, and once I get to like a level 32 videos, then I'm gonna want to showcase some new gear. Hopefully, like a new dinosaur bone crafted weapon and a dinosaur bone crafted armor at least. We'll see. I'll be taking a closer look at that stuff soon. But basically, from here on out, I think all the episodes are going to be grabs off of the live stream, because I'm going to be doing High Skull Reaper questing. After this one, it's going to be High Skull Reaper questing, and I'm going to do those with groups, preferably full parties. So my gear, right now I have the Legendary Collective Sight, which I have. This is where I'm getting my Charisma and Insightful Charisma from. So while having high Charisma isn't really that much of a priority for me, because I'm not a DC caster, I definitely want some Charisma. But I can augment enough Charisma to be viable. You can augment +14 Charisma and Insightful +5. So I'm really better off just, not wasting a piece of gear that has Charisma and just augmenting it somewhere else. But just goggles are such a tight space. There's not a lot of options, so I'm going to have to, look at what's available in the new endgame post Isle of Dread and see if I can find something. The Temperance of Belief is really nice if you have religious lore feats, but yeah, I don't think we have those. Warlock. No, we don't have religious lore feats. Man, I wish we did. That would be awesome, because that would be some nice added MRR. MRR didn't change when I took it off. Slotted with Sapphire Good Luck +3. You can get that from, I think it might be just the Haunting of Saltmarsh end chest. Legendary, of course, for the +3. And the Heroic has a +1. That's a lower level than the traditional +1. So the +1 you get from Saltmarsh. Ruzil 4. And I think before that, or, and there are other +1 sapphires that are level 12. Those have been in game for a long time, but there's the level 4 one you get out of Salt Marsh from hunting a Salt Marsh. All right, so Legendary Hardened Hide Armor. This comes out of the end chest of Legendary Good Intentions, and I'm actually doing that one on 8 Skull Reaper Legendary in the next episode. But this isn't going to be my endgame armor. I think I'm, going to switch to Dinosaur Bone Crafted, but this is what I was using before the level cap increased beyond 30. It's got good fortification, quality fortification, some exceptional healing amplification. Epic Nimbleness makes it one of the very highest max dex bonus medium armors in the game. You see some max dex bonus at 18, which is high compared to most other medium armor, so I can benefit from a lot of dodge. It's got Mythic 4, Diamond Spellcraft 19. I probably won't have Diamond Spellcraft 19 in my new endgame gear set that I'll be working on, because I probably won't have room for it. There are just so many wonderful augments that are coming out of Isle of Dread that I'm going to need to make room for them. Legendary Cold Iron Bracers. I do have a 7-piece Eminence of Winter set. So this is the first piece. Gets my source of Ghostly. It's got big protection, big vitality, quality false life, Globe of True Imperial Blood in there. The Globe of True Imperial Blood comes from one of the dragon optionals in Epic Giant Hole Tor, and that gives you +1 exceptional bonus to all ability scores. If that one's tough for you to get, you could, with a build like this, you could just get the +1 exceptional Diamond of Constitution. That's really going to be the most important one. This is a Constitution build, and you can get that from Lahar, the Epic vendor, in the 12. Keep an eye on the Shard Exchange for a Globe of True Imperial Blood and pick it up, if you find a good deal on it. And I would say, under 50 shards would be a pretty good deal. The economy of every server is different, but, on Sarlona, I would say if you found one for under 50 shards, that would be solid. So the 7-piece Eminence of Winter set gives me 30 artifact bonus to PRR, 30 artifact bonus to healing, repair, and negative amplification. 10% legendary bonus to maximum hit points, 100% artifact bonus to threat generation. I don't know if that's with all damage I do. Be nice if it was. +4 artifact bonus to Constitution, and +15 artifact bonus to Armor class. So good stuff for tanky build. I have the Legendary Nocturne Ring, got Command 7 on it. That's kind of the primary reason why I have that. The Insight doesn't help me because that's just threat generated from melee damage. Trucing, I could just scroll it if I needed it. The Insightful Fortification is nice, and then I got Sapphire Resistance 10 on there. That is part of the winter set as well. It could change, the Command 7, you can augment that now. But, I really don't know if moving forward I'm going to keep the Eminence of Winter set. We'll see. It's a really good set, no doubt about that. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to keep it or not. We'll see. Legendary Deep Snow Boots, one of the very best freedom of movement items in the game. Big insightful Constitution, quality Constitution on there as well. Very nice to have that in one place. Fortitude 10 is redundant from the Resistance 10 augment. Got Mythic 3 on there, PRR and MRR, and Reaper 3 to MRR, augmented with Dexterity 13 or 12. There are stat 14 augments available now. Also part of the winter set. The Princess Gauntlets. I don't have this loaded up with any augments, and I don't think. Yeah, I don't have any. Oh, I do have a filigree in there. Just one out of a possible 3. Okay. And that is. Which one is it? Plus 10 healing application rare with plus 2 MRR. So the reason why I don't have any augments is because I just wear these at level 29. I do have another set that I'll put on at level 30 that's fully augmented up. And so what I did is I put all my level 30 augments on one piece of gear, as opposed to having them spread out on a bunch and then, a bunch of level 29 gear. And if you have level 30 augments on 29 gear, you can't wear it till 30. So I consolidated all my 30 augments into one item. And then I picked up two of those items, the Princess Gauntlets, so I could have one that I could wear at 29, and then one that I could wear at 30 that was fully augmented up and fully filled with filigrees. So I'm just wearing this one for one level. Big Constitution. Let's see, we got big healing application, quality resistance, quality sheltering, and then we'll have that augmented up as well as filigreed up for the next for the level 30 episode, also part of the winter set. And that's can be part of the summer set as well. And you can see that I actually have a 2-piece summer set, which gives me 30 artifact bonus to MRR. The other piece of the summer set is the legendary Ring of Summer's Heat. This is where I'm getting my Radiance and Radiance lore from. So even though we're not like a max spell power build, definitely nice to have a source of Radiance and Radiance lore if you can. Got Mythic and Reaper on there. Sapphire Crushing Waveguard. That's definitely one that, that Sapphire Crushing Waveguard is one that might end up coming out. It's nice. It can knock down mobs and do some, I think it does some damage to them as well. When they attack me, there's a chance they get affected by that. But, with some of these beautiful augments that coming out of Isle of Dread, that's likely to go. We'll see. Legendary Dire Bear Belt, part of the winter set. Here we got big insightful sheltering, so that's to PRR and MRR. Primal bonus to natural armor. Big regular natural armor. Says the roar probably isn't coming into effect very often. It says when melee attackers score a critical hit on the wearer. So I don't think that I'm getting crit too often, but there definitely could be some champions. They're scoring crits on me. I got a Sapphire Defense 32. That's 32 to both PRR and MRR. Just in case you haven't played in a while, augments were rescaled. We had the whole, balance pass and rescaling a while back. And, augments are providing very, very competitive numbers. So a lot of stats can be augmented now. The Ghost Waking Cloak. This is not supposed to be here. Okay, I just got the cloak that I'm supposed to be wearing, which is the Legendary Cloak of Winter, which means I was wearing the wrong cloak in the next 2 episodes. And this has some, layers of defense on it, so it might have helped me survive. I actually died a couple times during the R10 Lost at Sea run, so this could have helped me survive. There were other issues, actually, which I'll mention in that introduction. But this has got Big False Life, Cold Absorption. The Legendary Ice Barrier is a nice proc that absorbs some damage. Life Sealed, which includes Death Block and some negative energy absorption. Sapphire Dodge, 12%. So I noticed I was missing some dodge, and I couldn't figure out why. I was looking at that earlier today, and now I realize it's because I was lacking a dodge augment. No, so I didn't have my dodge capped out in what's going to be the next level 29 episode, where I do some High Skull Legendary Reaper quests. Also part of the winter set. So that means I must have had 8 pieces of winter, because I have, it's the 7-piece set is lit up, even without the cloak. Yeah. An Icon of Bitterwind. This is a raid trinket, I think, out of the Dryad and the Demigod raid. I got Eldritch Resistance on there. That's something you do at the Stone of Change. I talked about those rituals earlier in the series. So that's a stacking bonus, +1 to all saves. Hell yeah, I'll take that. I make sure that's on my endgame gear set. It's got Superior Heroism, so that's +5 total. So I don't need to scroll Greater Heroism anymore. Big Intimidate on there. Exceptional Luring skills. This exceptional bonus to Intimidate. That's why that's there, so I can get Big Intimidate. The Insight is not helping because that's just threat generated from melee attacks. Greater Conjuration Focus, that helps with the Ever's Black Tentacles DC, and Sapphire Stunning plus 14, that helps with the DC with Throw the Boom from, that's the upgrade. We talked about that before. It makes your Knight's Challenge a ranged aggro grabber, but this makes it AoE and adds a stunning effect to it. So you definitely want to try to improve upon your stunning DC, and an augment is a great way to do that. Yeah, kind of Bitter Wind is, again, part of the winter set. Legendary Standard Issue Sigil. This is a Sharn item. Magical Sheltering 33. That's going to be mostly redundant. It might be one higher than the augment that I had. Big Protection. I think that's augment. That's redundant as well. Spell Saves 10 is real nice. That does stack with your resistance bonuses to saves. You know, these things right here. Fortitude is 94. But if it's an incoming spell that has a Fortitude save, then it's 10 higher than that. Okay, a lot of people don't know that those stack. I know we talked about that early in the series, but it's worth emphasizing. And pairing 6 gives me big insight bonus to AC and saves, which is nice. Got the mythic boost on there. Sapphire of Armor Agility 2. That gives me plus 2 additional maximum dodge out of the armor that I'm wearing, so that's nice. Additional, dodge is very nice. It's just another mischance. I'm not using the Legendary Guardians of the Gate set, but that is part of that set. And the Legendary Crown of Snow, this just covers like general spell DCs and insightful spell DCs. So I'm not a DC caster, but it's definitely nice to have a little bit to that. And this is part of the winter set. It does have the Fire Shield cold proc or effect, and the Paragon Cerulean Waves makes it so that all my bursts and my aura have a chance to freeze mobs, which is nice. Diamond of Strength 12. As I said before, it's nice to have a source of strength so you're not walking around all, encumbered or easily encumbered. For the shield, I've got the Legendary Crystalline Ward. There we go. And that comes out of Sharn, Wraith Collar's End Chest. Yeah. Arcane Casting Dexterity is minus 10%, so that means it only has a native 5% spell failure. I don't know why it says 15%. Your standard large shield is 15% spell failure, but with the lesser Arcane Casting Dexterity, or with the Arcane Casting Dexterity, that should only say 5. In any event, I do have a Sapphire Spell Agility 15%. You can mitigate, once you get to level 20, you can mitigate the Arcane Spell Failure from any large shield with your Sapphire Spell Agility 15%, which is a level 20 augment. I believe you can get that from Lahar, the Epic Vendor, in the 12. It's also my source of general potency, so if I'm doing some off spell power or damage types, in fact, I don't even have like sonic, like resonance, so I'm just a resonance item or a lore item, so I'm just getting a little bit of sonic damage from that. Not as much if I had a specific item, but like I said, we're not a max spell power kind of build. We're focusing on tankability more than we are DPS. Insightful Magical Sheltering, Quality Magical Sheltering, and then the Bitter Edge. This comes from the Dryad raid. I do have a teaching raid video for every raid in the game, as I said. I will include that link in the video description. So if you want to learn how to do that raid, it's not a hard raid, remains a popular raid. I would encourage you to learn it if you want something from there. But I am likely to replace this with a dinosaur bone crafted weapon. Now, if you do have an item that's so long that it scrolls like that, if you just click the item to highlight it over here, down here in the gears in your focus orb, you're going to click examine, and then you're going to lock it in place. Now you can move it around. I showed this before. Now I can freely scroll and look at it without having to wait for it to scroll and without having to keep my cursor hovered over the item. And so it's the Royalty's Frigid Response, and that has a chance to make it so that all my bursts and aura can freeze mobs. So I have two different freezing effects, one from the Crown of Snow, one from this. This is the reason why I had this. I am not married to this weapon. I think I can craft a dinosaur bone weapon that's going to do a lot more for me than this. I've got it slotted up with a lot of filigrees. So we've got raid filigrees in here that are purchasable with Threads of Fate. That's the end game raid currency. Any of your legendary raids, that means base 30 and up, do give Threads of Fate in the end reward, and you can use those Threads of Fate to buy all kinds of wonderful things, including delicious dual filigrees that have bonuses that are twice as big as standard filigrees. So like +2 to stat, for example, or +20 to heal amp instead of +10. So the first one is the Purity Touch of Grace, and they do count towards multiple set bonuses. So like the Purity Touch of Grace one can be part of a Purity set and or a Touch of Grace set. So that you could, for example, have 2 3-piece sets with a total of 5 filigrees. I could, for example, have 2 Purities, 2 Touch of Grace, and then this one, if that was with it, that would be a 5th filigree. Since it applies to both, I would have 2 3-piece sets out of a total of 5 filigrees, which is a really nice option as well. So that one gives me 20 heal amp. It's the rare +4 MRR. Then I have the Snakebite Grandfather Shield dual filigree that gives me +2 Constitution. It's the rare, so +4 PRR. Grandfather Shield Healing Amplification rare. That's just a regular filigree, not a raid filigree. That's giving me 10 heal amp and 2 MRR. Grandfather Shield Constitution rare, so that's +1 Constitution, +2 PRR. And then I have the raid filigree with from Threads of Fate, the Soul Weaver / Splendid Cacophony, Constitution +2, and then +4 to PRR since it's the rare version. Bravery Throughout / Shattered Device, that's +6 PRR and +4 MRR since it's the rare. Nistles, I've got the Constitution +1, and it's the rare, so 2 more PRR, and that does add up when you get those rare versions of those filigrees. And if you have the rare on every one, and I'm getting bonus PRR and MRR from everyone, that really does add up. So you definitely want to try to get those rares. The commons are great placeholders, but ultimately you want to try to get those rares on builds that you're serious about. Another Nistles here, so that's let's see, +3 MRR and +2 PRR. The Blood Feast Constitution +1 Constitution is the rare, so +2 more PRR. And another Nistles Electrical Absorption. It's not that I really wanted the Electrical Absorption, I just wanted the set bonus, but it's 5% Electrical Absorption, which certainly isn't bad to run around with that. It gives me 2 more MRR because it's the rare version. I do have a Diamond of Balance 19. That's good for a tank, and the Meridian Fragment in there. That's something that's highly replaceable. But the Meridian Fragment comes from the Fire on Thunder Peak raid, and that does give me a discount to maximize spells, which is not that big of a deal. And it also gives me some additional spell power when stacking spell power when I take damage. Also not big of a deal for this build, but you know, I had the slot, so I used it. But that will probably come out ultimately in my new endgame gear set. We'll see. It's just not an important filigree for the augment for the build. So for set bonuses, I do have 3-piece Grandfathers. So I'm getting oh, look at that, +2 imbue dice. That's changed with the whole imbue dice change that just happened with update 57 like a week ago. +5 PRR. And +5% armor class from the 3-piece set. So that's what I was going for there. And then Nistles, I have a 3-piece set, so it's 5 MRR and +1 to all saves. And Blood Feast, I get +1 Constitution for the 2-piece set. When I get my next artifact at level 30 that's augmented up, I'll have some additional filigrees. We'll go over that in the next episode. All right, is that enough about gear? Nothing to say. Let's see, Destiny, I'll just show you where it is. I'm going to be resetting this and respending these points when I get to 30, which is when I can buy tier 5. So I just made sure I had my points spent so I can get some bonus out of them, but that's where it is for now, and we'll talk more about this when we get to level 30. Reaper points, nothing to say. It's everything's maxed out except these cores, which I will next level. Oh, I knocked off a couple more of my favor guys that I was going for. I did pick up the Harper favor and the PDK favor fairly recently. I don't know if I did that since the last episode or not, but I'm still got to go for Argoness and J, Keepers of the Feather, Moorgrave, and the 12. Let's see. Is there a feat at 29? No. There's the character sheet I've had up, so I think that pretty much covers it. All right, enjoy this grab off the live stream where we're flagging for Mark of Death. Good raid to learn if you don't know it. If anybody's, new to the show or new to the game and you're wondering, why don't you know this? You're supposed to know stuff. What do I look like, some kind of guy who knows stuff? If I gave you that impression, I gave you the wrong impression. But no, the level cap just raised to 32 in June, so I'm still, not 100% on all the rules. But now that I have the scepter, I'm free to break the rules. So I will break my original bargain and not kill you. That's one of my favorite dialogues in this game, is the Lord of Eyes dialogue at the end of Acute Delirium. I love it. Leo. Good morning and welcome, Leo. I love the music from some of the epic Orchard quests. I loved it so much that when it came out, I actually did music videos of a couple of them. I did a music video for the music from Ghost of Perdition, which is my favorite. There's actually 2 songs. I think it's the second song that I like. And so I did a music video where I took all these screenshots of Ghost of Perdition and I set it to the music and I posted it on my YouTube channel. It's just a music video. So a highly unusual video for me to post, but I loved the music so much that it was inspired to do that. And then somebody, people liked it. And somebody made a comment. They're like, could you do this for Inferno? That's got some really nice music. And I was like, yeah. So I did another music video for the Inferno music, where I took a bunch of screenshots of Inferno of the Damned and set it to the music. Collectibles underwater. If anybody wants to join, guys, I got 2 spots. We're doing...
What if you asked SSG to use their music that they have in some of the quests that you like?
Oh, I know I could use the music. They're not gonna say anything about content creators using their content. It's what we do. Where was I? Australia. So we're flagging for Mark of Death. That's the Epic Abbot raid, doing the 4 Orchard quests on Epic difficulty. There's no... We don't have anybody that can open locks, do we? There's no Epic Litany of the Dead. There's no Sigil to collect. No Epic Litany of the Dead quest. Alright, I'm gonna have to go get the key, guys.
Rago.
So it's just these 4 quests. We'll flag you for Mark of Death, the Epic Abbot raid, but you must do them on Epic difficulty. And you must pick them up from the Epic quest givers, not the Heroic quest givers. If you pick them up from the Heroic quest givers, it will let you do the quests, but you will not get credit for flagging. Again, user hostile. It's like you can do the test with a number 1 pencil, but you won't get credit for it because you were supposed to use a number 2 pencil and you used the number 1 pencil, or a number 3 pencil. You had to use a number 2. Sorry, I know you did the work and all, but yep. All right, so let's say you're me. No, let's say I'm me. For the sake of this example, we're going to pretend that I'm me. And so let's say that I'm me and I'm doing a quest. And we'll just pick a quest at random. Let's say I'm me and I'm doing, I don't know, Epic Fleshmaker's Laboratory. Let's say I'm me and I'm doing Epic Fleshmaker's Laboratory and we don't have a trapper, just for example. and you're like, well, how do I get past this? Well, you could you could walk through the water, you could jump, but to give yourself the best chance, step up on this pedestal here. Okay? Yeah. Why do I keep falling? There we go. Step up here, wait for the trap to go, and boom, you can jump right over it. That's going to give you your best chance if you don't have a trapper. Also, you should do your saves boost. You can do like the +9 from Reaper if you're doing this on Reaper. You could do other save boosts. That's what save boosts are for. You got to jump through a trap, hit your save boost, boom. Bada bing, bada boom. That is how you... Oh yeah, they did increase the movement speed in water now, didn't they? So it'd probably be easier, but still, you still got a better chance doing it that way. I think that's just if you have freedom of movement, right? But yeah, totally. I forgot about that. I told you. I said, what? I just said, what do I look like? Some kind of guy who knows stuff? Yeah, that was a recent change, that there are some conditions in which you can move through shallow water faster now, but not enough conditions. In my opinion. But hey, it's an improvement. Medi Argentum, I hope I said that right. Good morning and welcome to the channel. Robster, good morning and welcome. Champ chest. There's 2 champ chests in here. One near where we came in, and one near the exit. Or exit, if you prefer.
I need to sell and repair after this one.
I'm probably due for a 5er after this one, honestly. Or I could probably squeeze in another one. These are my skinny quests. I can still squeeze into them. Played D&D before, and most of your sessions were definitely online, but I haven't played this version of D&D online before. How similar are they? This is not an online version of Dungeons & Dragons. This is an MMORPG based on Dungeons & Dragons called Dungeons & Dragons Online. How similar are they? The lore is there. It is loosely based on 3.5 rules, but you know, when you're dealing with a live-action MMORPG, it just, you know, pen and paper Dungeons & Dragons, and I'm an old pen and paper player, emphasis on the word old, you know, it just doesn't directly translate well. You know, this is a live action kind of game, but I love it. You know, I have a long history of pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons, and I love DDO. In fact, it's my love of Dungeons and Dragons, which is my true love. That's what brought me to DDO. So if you love Dungeons and Dragons, there's certainly lots to love about DDO. This is such a wonderful game. And we were talking earlier about how it's just an absolute gem. 2 champ chests. You know, it's still, even though it's going on 17
Imagine
years
thinking
old.
that online Dungeons and Dragons is the same thing as Dungeons and Dragons online.
Oh, we
Come
get
on.
people here all the time that think that this is a Dungeons and Dragons channel. That happens pretty routinely. But you know, this is such a gem, even though it's 17 years old. It's such a great game still, and still trounces the competition in a few categories. You know, or at least holds its own, even though it's 17 years old. And we have, to this day, even though DDO is 17 years old, there is nothing on planet Earth that comes remotely close to DDO's virtually infinite character customization. You know, I don't know about other planets. I haven't played MMORPGs on other planets. But I do know that on planet Earth, you know, there's just nothing. There's not a math nerd on the planet, and I use the term math nerd with all due respect because I love me some math nerds. I was married to a math nerd, actually. My ex-wife was really, really good at the math. She did her master's in statistics at U of M and worked professionally doing a lot of statistical analysis in the automotive industry. Anyways, I got nothing but love for the math nerds, so I want you to know that when I use the term math nerd, I'm not disparaging anybody. You know, it's kind of like how I call myself a gaming nerd or a D&D nerd, you know? I love the math nerds. In any event, there's not a math nerd on the planet that has calculated the virtually infinite, you know, options you have, you know, character customization, you know, and like our combat system is still excellent, and our character progression and character customization are two of the highest sought after features in an MMORPG, and DDO has character progression that is awesome. You know, if you have a character and you want to keep working on it, you can, like, practically forever. See, Medi Argentum, this is what a great community we have in DDO at large, and especially on this channel, that when somebody new shows up, like you, a lot of times one of our awesome viewers, like Mustang, will give them a sub right away. So Mustang has just gifted you a sub. Thank you, Mustang. That was very nice of you. And if you do decide to play DDO, and again, if you play pen and paper and you love pen and paper, I would highly recommend this game. You are welcome to stop by here and ask questions. We love to answer viewer questions, and this is a very new player-friendly channel, and we have an awesome community here. I don't have all the answers, you know, but usually between me and, you know, friends and guildies that I'm grouped with, and, you know, the great folks in chat, we can answer just about any DDO questions. We do have character progression up the wazoo. We also have tidy lasses and pints up the wazoo.
Tidy lasses and pints up the wazoo!
See? Jeets emphatically agrees. I mean, this game, you know, we have going on 17 years of content, literally hundreds and hundreds of quests, and we don't have lame quests. Like, we don't have little fetch quests where they're like, go get me 5 raspberries from the dead forest, and I'll give you a doodad. You know, go collect me 10 rat tails, and I'll give you a thingy dingy. You know, we don't do that. Like, we got dungeons in here, baby. This is Dungeons and Dragons Online. Not only do we have dungeons, but we also have dragons, too. We got dungeons. You know, we would send you, oh, go cut down the mightiest tree in the forest with a herring, you know? We don't have that here. We do Ghost of Perdition next. How many of the dungeons have dragons? I don't know.
Which one is next?
Lots of them. Ghost of Perdition. But I mean, you know, it can't be every other quest. Dragons are kind of special, you know. But every dungeon could have Dragonborn in them, right? Like if you were playing a Dragonborn, then every dungeon you do would have a Dragonborn in it. So it's close. Oh, that's interesting. I think I saw that review, but I don't. It's been a long time. DDO, like I said, it's a gem. This is an absolute gem of a game that doesn't get its dues. People, there's so many serial gamers and they just want to date the new girl, because everybody wants to date the new girl. Like, oh, it's the new girl. Oh, she's so hot. Oh gosh, what's her name? Her name's New World. And she has a twin sister too. Oh, what's her name? Her name's Lost Ark. Everybody wants to date the new girl, right? But, DDO, she may not be the prettiest girl at the dance, but she's got a great personality. You know what I'm saying? Like, really. You can just be yourself and just, like, joke around. DDO will laugh at your jokes because DDO thinks you're funny, okay? She's not just laughing at you because she's trying to impress you or something, and you can just, like, if you just want to, like, stay at home and watch Netflix while eating a giant bowl of popcorn, DDO is happy to just snuggle on the couch with you, and not make a thing about it. DDO won't complain that you didn't take her out to the movies or to dinner. DDO loves you, baby, and you can really just be yourself and have a really meaningful long-term relationship with DDO. But you know what? If you want to go date the new girl, then you're just going to find out she's got all these problems. Then you're just going to be moving on to the next girl and the next girl and the next girl. Wait, where's this metaphor going? DDO's awesome. That's the... Oops, epic. Elite, there we go. That's what DDO is, But, does that girl, get all the... Did she get voted, most likely to date a billionaire? Did she? No. DDO is just, like I said, another girl at the dance. But, she's a gem, a diamond there. You just got to polish her up a little bit. She's awesome, you know what I'm saying? DDO is the kind of girl you want to date. You don't need some California dime, nothing but upkeep. The weirdest metaphor ever. It is not complete free-to-play. There definitely is free-to-play content. There's definitely enough for you to download. You download it for free. There's definitely enough content for you to play it for a month and for you to get a good feel whether or not you'd want to play this game long term. I played it for free for a month, 13 years ago. And then, at that point you can decide, okay, I want to get more into this, and start buying some of the expansions, or maybe go VIP, which is the subscription, $10 a month that gives you access to about 80% of the content. It gives you access to everything except for the expansions. But the expansions, like we're about to have Black Friday sales, and we're going to have huge discounts on expansions, especially the older the expansion is.
The is being incredibly annoying. I cannot get on my mount to save my life.
The bigger, the older the expansion, the bigger the discounts. And you're not going to get bored with DDO quickly, more than likely, But some people get bored with games, Some people have to play a new MMO every month and they just get bored and they have to keep moving because the next MMORPG is going to be the greatest thing in the world. Those people. You know what I'm talking about. It's always the next MMORPG, and then they get it and they tell you how great it is. And then a month later they stop playing it and they're playing some new MMORPG and it's the greatest thing now. And then a month later they're playing some other game and it's the greatest thing now. It's always the next game that's going to be the greatest. Well, DDO is awesome. But if you're a serial gamer, nothing can help you. But if you're looking for a really good quality MMORPG that you can really sink into, DDO is a hidden gem. There is no main storyline quest, really. There are definitely chains that have storylines, that have their own storylines. Some of them are Some quests have self-contained stories, individual. And there are definitely themes, like, you know, seeking out the codex pages is a theme that we've been dealing with since the end of 2015, and I'm so done with that storyline. But, so, yeah, there are, like, micro storylines, and there are macro storylines, and there's lots of stuff in between. But there's not one
Barbarian
over...
is great. I just push a button and I get 250 extra hit points. I just push it again and I can get that again. It's great.
But there's not, like, one storyline that flows through it all, though. You know, just like how in Dungeons & Dragons Pen and Paper there's not. You know, you can run a campaign, you know, you can do Ravenloft, and that, you know, maybe your campaign takes 6 months to go through Ravenloft, and it's all about Strahd and his daddy issues or whatever. Strahd, I don't know what Strahd's problem is. Girlfriend issues, daddy issues, I don't know. You know, but it's just, that's just a segment of your campaign. There's no world PvP. Okay, nobody can ever kill you and take your stuff. There is absolutely no scenario in this game that somebody could kill you and take your stuff. Okay? Technically, we do have PvP, but it's a special, like, you know, step inside the steel cage, brother. Like, you have to agree to those terms. Like, you have to meet somebody's like, let's step outside in the streets. I'll take you on. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go to a special place for PvP in this game. But in all honesty, there's no PvP scene in DDO. It technically exists, but nobody does it anymore. Nobody's gonna kill you and take your stuff. I would never want to play a game like that. Nobody's gonna, like, perch outside the town and shoot you as soon as you leave the town. You know, that kind of garbage. I don't know why people like that stuff, but whatever. If that's what they like, they can go do it. That's not DDO. This is a cooperative game. You can solo it. 99% of the content is soloable, probably more than 99%. There's very, very little in this game that is technically not soloable. You know, probably like literally 2 raids is probably about the only thing that, from a technical perspective, is impossible to solo. There might be a little bit more than that, but I can think of 2 raids that are technically impossible. You could duo with them. You know, you can duo the Titan raid, you can duo Von 5.
I'll stay down here. We have to go back up.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, these are simultaneous kills, so... You want to stay down here, Ranry? You can take them by yourself?
I'll stay with him.
Yeah, I should be fine by myself.
Okay, that's fine. We can split up to 2 and 2. Now, like I said, our combat system, character progression, and character customization is awesome. If I was being totally fair, though, you know, if I wanted to be critical of DDO, you know, one criticism that some people have given to DDO is that it has a steeper learning curve than your average MMORPG. And, you know, for some people, that's just too much. You know, to me, that's part of what gives DDO its beauty and richness. That it's not overly simplistic, and you are going to be in a learning mode for a long time. You can go ahead and kill. You know, you're probably going to feel like a bigger noob after a month of playing this game than you did on day 1.
We have them at about half.
We're at half. Is that about a quarter?
So don't let that discourage you.
Hello, my baby.
You know,
Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Medi, thank you for the follow, and again, welcome to the channel. Don't let that discourage you. You know, it's not rocket surgery. If it was, I sure as hell wouldn't be able to figure it out. But it's, you know, it's not just pressing a few buttons like some games. You just press a few buttons. Like, these are your 3 abilities, and you click them as they come off cooldown. That's not DDO. Like, we've got a lot of different options, a lot of different spells, viable options, viable spells, you know. But if you want simplicity, you can play pretty simple. You know, if you just want to put a weapon in your hand and swing it around at mobs, I mean, you can do that. You know, we have 14 different difficulties for virtually every quest. So, you know, if you're just looking for a hack and slash experience on very easy difficulty content, you can do that. You know, but the higher you step up the difficulty, the more you're having to get serious about refining your build and getting geared up. What's New World? I've never played WoW Classic, so I'm not really sure. If I were to guess, I would say yes. I would say that DDO has a steeper learning curve than World of Warcraft, but I've never played it. But just from what I know of it, it's a champ chest. World of Warcraft, you know, I've never played it, but I've watched videos and stuff, and it just seems like you just have limited viable abilities. Like, this is what you do. If you're this class, this is what you do at the end game. You press these 3 buttons. But I could be totally wrong. You know, these are the abilities that you use. There's not, like, a ton of different options. But it's just based on, you know, having watched some videos over the years, and I could be totally wrong. New World is the 3-button MMO? Oh god, that's gross. But some people gotta have that eye candy too. You know, New World's pretty. I'll give you that. You know, she's the prettiest girl at the dance right now. You know. She's the hot girl. You know, but then you date her and you find out she's crazy. You want to date the crazy hot girl, or you want to date the girl you can watch Netflix with and cuddle on the couch with? Because that's what DDO is. And that's the girl I want to date. I don't want to date the crazy hot girl. But, you know, that's another area where you could be critical of DDO. Some people, you know, we get people stopping in here to check it out. And some people can't stand these graphics. Like, this might as well be Minecraft to them. You know, some people want that eye candy, and that's fine. You know, I learned long ago in my Commodore Amiga days, back in the late 80s, that graphics do not make the game. It's all about the gameplay, and DDO is fun as hell, you know? But some people gotta have that eye candy, and they can't live without it. You know, this is, you know, 17-year-old, almost 17-year-old game, almost 17-year-old graphics, you know what I'm saying? Minecraft took its inspiration for graphics from DDO. You know, I'm a child of the 80s, though, you know. When I was, you know, into gaming in high school and stuff, I couldn't have imagined that games would look like this someday, you know? This is so much better than anything I had when I was a kid, so, like, I got no complaints. You know, I remember playing the frickin' Gold Box series, you know? Practically stick figures moving around the screen on my Commodore 64. That was my computer gaming Dungeons and Dragons experience in 1988. Heading to Vol. I can actually port right there since I think I did these on Heroic. Oh, I guess not. You can get started when you get there, if you like. Listen chart. Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you again, everyone, for the level 5 hype train earlier. We do have a bonus hour, folks, because of the big level 5 hype train. And so that means I'll be streaming until at least 4 p.m. Eastern today. Hell yeah. And we had a hell of a day yesterday, too. Really nice day of support. Thank you so much for that. You know, yesterday started out the week in such a good place. Really puts us on a great pace to go for a Sunday special. And, you know, we still have the rest of the stream today. We have tomorrow. We're going to do a short show on Thursday. And we have the Friday morning and the Friday night show, too. So, you know, we still have a long way to go. But, you know, yesterday, starting out the week in such a good way, put us, you know, like I said, on a really good pace for that. This is an excellent collectibles farm. You can run in here, grab one. Look, I got an ornate charm. Good place to farm out ornate charms. 2 and 3. Collectibles, you can de-door or recall out, reset, do it again. Just those 3. Don't worry about the one on the other side. It's faster just to go to the right, get 3, recall, reset. Go to the right, get 3, recall, reset. Rinse, repeat. Great collectibles farm. Great place to farm out ornate charms. And those do have higher value than your average uncommon collectible. You know, those are used for, like, I don't know, Constitution or PRR shards or something. So a highly, you know, a very common Kenneth Craftable shard uses those. So they tend to be in very high demand. And so whereas I'll sell 5 uncommons for 5 shards for your typical uncommon, when it comes to ornate charms, I can sell a couple of those for 5 shards. And you're not going to get rich selling ornate charms or 1 or 2 collectibles, but when you're selling a bunch of them, you know, you got 3 different tunes with 20 auctions each, and you're keeping on top of that every day, you can make several hundred or more astral shards per month that way and build up your astral shard wealth over time. Vials of pure water are still valuable. I accidentally sold my big stack, you know. This was going back a few years, but it was during my live streaming days, my Twitch streaming days, that, you know, I was selling collectibles one day and I was just in a hurry. I don't know if I was in a hurry or just wasn't paying attention. You know, either one is likely. But I split the stack. I pulled out 5. I was going to post a 5 stack, and instead of posting the 5 stack, I posted the big stack for 5 shards. I sold like 100 vials of pure water for 5 shards, you know, about 3 years ago. It was a bummer, but it's just pixels. Somebody got a good deal. Built more back up since then, so. But oh yeah, vials of pure water still have value. And the reason why vials of pure water have higher value than your typical uncommon is because they're used in one of the in the Stone of Change rituals. Forget which one. Let's take a look. The alchemical armor ritual. So it's not going to be as popular as like the, you know, the force damage ritual, which requires, you know, 9 fragrant drowse hoods, but, you know, because there's a lot more people that want to add something like that to a weapon than there are somebody who gives a crap about one armor class to their armor. You know, that's mostly just tanks, but honestly, if you have an armor class above about 130, and I don't know exactly where the threshold is after the whole balance pass and stuff, but if you have an armor class at endgame above 130, it's probably, you know, in the same ballpark still, but who knows, it could be 120, it could be 140. I would say if you have an armor class above 130 at endgame, even if you're not an AC build, if you have an armor class above 130 at endgame, I would say you should add the alchemical armor ritual and the alchemical shield. Well, if you have a shield, but definitely the alchemical armor ritual to your armor, because once you get past that threshold, every point of armor class does make a difference. It might be a little difference, but hey, for the cost of 5 vials of pure water and 10 doodads, you might as well get a free armor class out of it, basically, because you're just making your existing armor better, right? It's one louder. Royal T-Con, good morning, welcome. Yeah, I remember when trade chat was so hopping, people selling stuff. I mean, when I first played this game, it was people were trying to sell stuff in general chat all the time. Yeah, I've spent countless hours, like, you know, pricing stuff out in the shard exchange and stuff, but, you know, that lets me do the things I want to do, you know, whether it's re-roll a chest or maybe if I see a deal on a, you know, on an Odo's box or something, but it's definitely not something you have to do in the game. Aineth Rules, good morning and welcome to the channel. Will we get Odo's boxes for Black Friday, you think? Ooh, that's a good question. I honestly have no clue what they'll do for Black Friday, although I do suspect that Salt Marsh will go on discount for the first time ever. Salt Marsh is 15 months old now. It's never been discounted. I suspect that we're going to see Saltmarsh discounted, if not on Black Friday, then for the holiday sales.
Yeah, 1 year. That's a little early. They should do a discount on VIP for a year. Like 50% off for 1 year.
So what I really want to see them do is augment the VIP package, which has been on their to-do list for a long time. You know, I'm so ready for that. There's so many things they need to do, you know, as a result of, you know, for one, they gave away those free codes that gave, you know, everybody who got them, got all the quest packs unlocked for free. And, you know, that's the single biggest selling point of VIP is you get, you know, all the quest packs accessible as part of your VIP. Well, they gave them away for free. So a lot of people were like, forget it, I'm not going to be VIP. I'm still VIP because I like the other perks that I get along with it. In the event, you know, everybody can evaluate things on their own. But they definitely, you know, recognizing that they did kind of nerf a lot of the value of VIP, they said they want to augment the VIP package. Well, their stopgap measure was to give us daily gold rolls, and they said that was good for the end of the year. So that's going away at the end of the year. These daily gold rolls are not going to be permanent. I mean, they could extend them, that's possible, but they said, you know, as of right now, the standing order is that's going to be good for the end of the year. So I'm totally ready for them to, you know, actually come out with a better VIP package. And they need to redo the starter bundle or the starter pack, you know, the thing that comes with Illyri and stuff, and, you know, because a couple of the races, you know, I can't remember what came with it, but basically the racing class that came with it is now free to play. So it's like you can't sell a starter bundle that includes stuff that's free to play. You know, they need to change that, and they're way overdue to change that. You know, you can't even buy an Illyri right now, and that's garbage. It's not cool. You know, and will they change it to be something other than catacombs? Because they gave away catacombs for free with those codes. You know, I don't know. I suspect they do have bigger plans to do like some sort of big free-to-play push, but honestly, I was disappointed that they didn't do that with Isle of Dread. But maybe they'll have a big free-to-play push that coincides with the movie release. That would be cool. Yeah, it's tough to price, you know, to you know, find a value, you know, price on something. You know, you can look to see what other things are going for. Heading to Inferno. You know, if you have any specific questions, you're welcome to, you know, be like, hey, is this Magistrate Scepter worth anything? I'm gonna be like, no, it's the biggest piece of trash that was ever created in the game. You know, if you're like, hey, is this Mage Star any good? I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's still one of my recommended end game pieces of spell absorption, you know, or stuff like that. I'm happy to, you know, I just can't go over a long, you know, I don't want you to list like 500 things and be like, tell me what these are worth. I don't have time to do that, but if, you know, a few things here and there, I'm happy to help you try to get up to speed on, give you my opinion on what they might be worth, if they'll sell. And, you know, some people think plat is stupid, but I never, ever run out of things to do with my plat. Let me tell you. And for anybody out there who thinks plat's stupid and useless in this game, I'm sorry. On behalf of DDO, I would like to formally apologize to you. I'm sorry that you've been unduly, you know, burdened. But Uncle Voodoo's here to help. I don't want you to be burdened by all that plat anymore. I know it's so awful. I will take all that plat off of your hands. Just send it to me, Uncle Voodoo. I'll show up. You can name the time and the place. I will show up and you can give me all your plat. That's something I'm willing to do to you to relieve you of your pain and suffering of all that plat. Uncle Voodoo cares. And Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, so the way that I spend my plat is, I mean, I was fully prepared to go plat broke during this round of Night Revels buying keys, but unfortunately the price of keys was pretty outrageous the whole time. In any event, wait a minute. Am I going mad or did the words think just escape my lips? Yeah, this isn't the right way. But I thought I went right from the shrines. Why am I losing my mind? It's this way. I don't know. This is when you get to my advanced stage, this is what happens. You forget how to do quests you've done 10,000 times and literally have made tutorials for, and you're like, what? Are you surprised that you forget how to do these quests? Stand aside. So anyways, if you're unfamiliar with this quest, Inferno of the Damned, this is kind of like Mirror Darkly, or Beautiful Nightmares, or that kind of quest where you're flipping back and forth between two different sides of the map, and those kinds of quests tend to be really confusing. I do have a full tutorial. I know I'm doing a really good job of making it look like I don't know this quest, but I really do. I just am having a senior moment right now. I have a senior DDO moment right now. Revenant. Okay, so anyways, other things to spend your plat on. How about named loot? Any named loot that's level 21 and up in the plat house is going to have some value, even if it's a giant piece of crap. Like, I don't know, I'll just select an epic named item at random. How about the Magistrate Scepter? So even if it's a giant piece of crap like the Magistrate Scepter, if it's on the plat house for 100,000 plat, hell, you can buy it just to feed it to your sentient weapon. Right? Hell yeah. Reaper Wings cost 1 million plat, or 1 to 2 million plat, so if you have your Reaper Wings, that's a plat expense right there. Yugoloth Potions! Make sure you got Yugoloth Potions. Those are, it's 100,000 per stack of them, approximately, depending on your haggle skill. And let's see, what else? You can actually buy stuff off of the auction house. So literally on this channel, literally every day, we do a little segment where we price things on the auction house. Things like, augments and collectibles and stuff like that. And sometimes, if you can find stacks of collectibles or something, you can actually flip them into the shard exchange, and literally, basically, what you're functionally doing is converting your platinum to shards, and then you can use those shards for other things you want to do, like chest rerolls and stuff. Float on by. Good morning and welcome. Yes, this is the Bitter Edge. This is my end game sword, or at least was. It's not going to be. Before too terribly long, hopefully, I will have a new dinosaur bone crafted thingy-dingy. But I'm going to need to save up all my pennies. That's why I'm not selling my dinosaur bones right now, is because I gotta craft a weapon and armor for Voodoo, and possibly another item as well. We'll see. Oh, I'm not trying to keep that a secret. Did we lose someone? Where's Meridon? Meridon fell on a hole. I don't even think he was in the last quest.
I don't think he ever came in.
I think he probably got sidetracked, got a phone call or something. It's all good. But yeah, I'm in fact not only do I never run out of things to do with my plat. I actually have a bard that has like max haggle, and I like once I get to about level 15, I move all my junk loot into the shared bank and then pull it out on my bard once my shared bank fills up, because my bard has big haggle. So like I'm trying to get as much as I can for my randomly generated crap, because I never have a problem spending my plat. You know, even if crap is like terribly overpriced in the auction house, like if you're sitting on like a boatload of plat cap tunes, what do you care? I mean, if you think the plat's stupid anyways, then go ahead and spend, you know, that 2 million plat on that medium Eberron Dragon shard, because it's just plat. Who cares, right? I mean, I've definitely done that. I've definitely paid way too much plat for stuff because I'm like, I've got 10 plat cap tunes, you know, I can afford it. Knife Edge, good morning, welcome. Yeah, that's a Voodingo square. Plat as stupid as a Voodingo square. And we got our first Rage Beard game of Voodingo going on. We'll check in on it after this quest. I think I'm just going to do a grab of these quests and use that as my level 29 episode for the series. I mean, alternatively, I could do like the harbor stuff on Reaper. Just to demonstrate playing the build at 29 and legendary, you know, mid to high skull Reaper. I'm so torn. I'm like Natalie Imbruglia. I'm like the Natalie Imbruglia DDO. I don't even know what that means. No one knows what it means, but it's provocative. It's not provocative, it's just, it gets the people going. This guy's crazy, yeah. If you're just figuring that out, I'm sorry. But that's beside the point, you know. The staff that I'm using, by the way, is the Staff of Arcane Power that comes from the Demon Queen raid. And it's got that multi-selector on it, so whether it's Fireball to light the torches, or Ice, or a Cone of Cold to put them out, or, you know, having a clicky on it of Globe of Invulnerability. It's a nice situational toy to have. I love it. I have it on all my characters. That's the Staff of Arcane Power from the Demon Queen raid, with the multi-selector of all these spells that, you know, situationally, hey, like I said, I have it on all my characters. Now, it's not the kind of thing that would be like, hey, you need to drop everything and farm it out now until you get it. You know, far from it. But, like I said, you know, you know, along the way, I made sure to pick it up on all my characters. Nobody needs a shrine, so we can just go through here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do a grab. These, and this can be my level 29 episode. So I'll just take 30 after this. Lopnol, good morning and welcome. Like I said, I do have a full walkthrough of this on my YouTube machine. So if this quest confuses you, you're not alone. A lot of people hate this one. But, you know, you spend a little time learning it. It's not too bad. I actually learned it from another content creator. I don't even know who. But back in the day, you know, 10 years ago or whatever, when I was trying to learn this, I literally pulled up somebody's video about it and literally was just following along what exactly as they're doing. I had the video playing and I was watching what they're doing. I was like, okay, I'll do that, and I'll pause the video. And then I would get to where they were, and then I'd watch the video, and I would literally just follow along what they were doing. That's how I learned it years ago. No idea who that content creator was, but thank you, content creator that came before me. Yeah, Plat's so exaggerated compared to like Dungeons and Dragons. Remember when it used to be the gold standard? Gold used to be the standard, not platinum, when I first started playing. Pretty soon, DDO's gonna, you know, because, you know, plat, you know, everybody's got 15 plat cap tunes, you know, the longtime veterans. So we're gonna have to start having like DDO crypto or something. Oh man, I got 500 DDO coins, man. Oh crap, did we miss one? Find the West Flame Guardian. What? Okay, I must have effed something up. Alright.
You might be best to dimension, Dorky.
Probably right. This is the west. That's where the West Flame Guardian is located, in the west, just in case you didn't know. I'm sitting here yakking. Did I just not pay attention to something, or the quest wouldn't have bugged out? We don't have anybody, we don't have a cleric here with turning capability. So it wouldn't have bugged out. I think I just didn't do what I was supposed to do. I think we just didn't come back here, is all. Because I was, you know, doing this.
It's my fault, dude. I was just...
Instead of paying attention.
I didn't want to say anything.
It's fine, dude. All good. Just come back and do it. I'll just blame Syax.
Dude, science is cool.
Royalty Con, I haven't noticed them toggling off when you leave a quest. However, they do toggle off on log out and log back in. All right, so this is not how you normally do this quest, but I skipped one of the Flame Guardians and then had to double back, and now we're having to find a way back to the center on the flame side, so this is the way I'm going to choose to do it. Is it the fastest way? I don't know. But we're going to get there. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. Here we are. Now we get to fight the boss. Rick Rouse. Yeah, I literally haven't noticed that happen at all. But again, every time I log back into this game, I have to toggle on Spiritual Retribution, or Celestial Spirit, and Aura of Courage, and Spiritual Retribution, and my Eldritch Aura. Those 4 things have to be toggled on every time I log out and log back in. What'd you say, dude? Oh, you guys are still stuck back there. You should be able to jump up on the sarcophagus.
Yeah, I have no wings, neither does he.
Yeah, you don't need them. Jump up onto the sarcophagus and catch the ledge. The sarcophagus on the west side. I'll show you. So right here, you just jump up on the sarcophagus, then jump straight up and catch the ledge. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. I even give you a jump since I'm here at no extra charge.
Still not making it.
Make sure you step away from the ledge a little bit, because if you're pushed against the wall, you'd like bounce back or something.
I'm so close.
You should be able to make it with a jump. Shouldn't be any reason. You know, unless you're wearing like heavy armor, but as a bard, I'm guessing you're not. As long as you don't have your like stone shoes on or something.
Got it.
You got it.
Got it. It was tight.
Yeah, it's toy. Toy like a toy. I have too much fun on here. Who authorized this? Nobody said anything about having
When are you
fun.
gonna do the raid for this?
What'd you say?
When are you gonna do the raid?
The raid? We mark a death, we do it every Friday after Abbott. Doogie, check it out, man.
I got up there, I just can't get past that.
You gotta step back here where I am. Don't be against the wall. You gotta step back to that back edge. So come on up here where I am. So you want to step back a little bit. Make sure you're in the center, because that's a teensy-weensy bit higher. You can't be on the side like that because you're a little bit lower. Now you're going to jump straight up and then press forward. You know, make sure you don't press forward until you're close to the top of your jump. It's a little tricky, but you should get it. Make sure you're at the back edge, straight up, and then press forward. But press forward at the last second. There's a little bit of a lip, and if you press forward too soon, then you just kind of hit the lip and it pushes you back down. He's got jump. There should be no reason that he can't hypothetically do this. You look like you're jumping to the side or something. Just jump. Just press the jump button and then forward.
He's got to come back a little more.
You look like you're jumping.
He's still too close.
He's a half elf. That shouldn't be any funny interaction with character models. Just straight up. Oops, see, I pressed forward too soon. Straight up and then forward. And even I miss sometimes. Straight up and then forward. If you don't feel like you can get it, don't even worry about it. This is just garbage in this chest anyways, dude.
Well, now it's...
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Okay, guys. That's all of them. Thanks for joining me.
All right, later, Voodoo. Thank you for the flanking.
Hell yeah, man. Have a good one, guys. That's Mark of Death flagging, folks. Any questions, let me know.